Hello and welcome to Preconnotation Points Video Snark. I'm continuing my read-through of The Plan by Qwen Salsbury. Please make sure that you've seen the other videos in my Snark series about the book before you jump into this one. Chapter 7, aka Day of Employment 365. Emma is at home enjoying not only her weekend but also two things. First, the 1-year anniversary of getting her job. Second, having turned in her term paper 2 days early. She eats ice cream. She also laments the fact that she's been working for the company for a year now and Ulrich has yet to notice her. But she knows that this is about to change, because she has a plan. And obligatory title drop. And then, that's literally all of Chapter 7. I know that I was complaining about Chapter 5 being absurdly short, but at least it was more than just a page of material. This isn't even quite a full page. And also going back to how Salsbury's decision to have chapters change every single day is hurting her book. Let's move on to Chapter 8 since that was like 2 seconds of conversation. Day of Employment 366. Emma wakes up at 6, complains about eating a salad, and starts to walk on a treadmill. She keeps repeating that she has a plan. And at this point, the way that she keeps saying it, I might as well slap a giant trademark on it. She has a plan. Emma complains about having lost an hour of her life to exercising and showering after, even though she's clearly the one who wanted to do it in the first place. But this also means that she's the first in to work. Alec comes in a moment after her, but he continues to not notice her. Later, Emma talks about the latest assistant who is fired. Rebecca apparently tried to shake things up and hired an older woman, but that didn't work. But Emma insists that it was less because Alec is an asshole and more because the poor woman couldn't quite figure out technology. And then that's also the end of Chapter 8. Dear Lord, why? Who looked at their writing and says, you know what? 2 pages of nothing happening makes for a decent chapter. Chapter 9! Because it, I guess. Day of Employment 367. Literally a full day with her plan under her belt, and Emma already feels as though it sucks. But she continues to go through with it regardless, which, duh. It's literally the title of the book. Emma wakes up at 6 the next morning and shoves all bright colors to the back of her closet, because Ulrich apparently doesn't like them. And, look, this is not a healthy message to have. Emma was already going crazy mooning over Ulrich, but now she's literally changing who she is as a person just to land herself a man. A bit later, as she's walking down to her car, she realizes that her second new pair of shoes hurt her feet too much. She thinks about returning them, but decides against it, the main reason being that they look like the shoes that a mysterious her wears, the her being Ulrich's girlfriend. This leads Emma to thinking about the various women that she's seen on Ulrich's arm. There haven't been many, just one other outside the Christmas party. Both women were so well put together. Emma says that the date he brought to the company picnic was wearing capris and a blouse, but managed to make it look like a power suit, which seems to be the exact opposite look from Emma, judging by her reaction to both of them. As Emma's getting into her car, she gets a text from Rebecca to meet her in the office as soon as possible. Emma goes into work and is surprised at what Rebecca says, which is that Emma is to be Ulrich's new PA. Position to put literally anybody in, and forget about somebody who's been working for the company for a year. Remember in the first chapter that Emma all but laughed in the face of the PA who thought that Emma was after the job? She knows that it's a dead-end job, and so does Rebecca. Rebecca pretty much just wants to try somebody who already knows how Ulrich works. She dangles the promise of a raise in front of Emma if she can help Ulrich get ready for some trip, and then a promotion if she can last for a month. And considering that he once fired 3 PAs in a single day, I'm not going to place any bets on Emma lasting for more than a couple of days, and even that seems too generous. Emma mentions that there's always some secret backup PA, but Rebecca says that she's on ordered bed rest because of a high-risk pregnancy. Even though if Ulrich really does go through PAs like that, surely she would have been fired a long time ago, right? Rebecca then goes on to insist that Emma is good at her job and seems to be the best fit. She also alludes to the fact that Emma keeps winning the bet, so she clearly must know Alaric well by now. Emma insists that she just has a gambling problem. And honey, you know that you have a problem when your excuse is gambling addiction. And because you knew that she would, Rebecca sweet talks Emma into agreeing with this. As Emma follows Rebecca into Alaric's office, she worries about her plan, as if that's somehow relevant at this point. Although I'm laughing over Rebecca's introduction of Emma, she pretty much just walks into the office, says, "This is Miss Baker," and all but flees the scene. Apparently, not even Rebecca wants anything to do with Alaric. Alone with Alaric, he demands to know the who, what, when, where, why, and how of why it is that Emma thinks that she's qualified for this job. She tells him about her master's in English and mentions her scholarships. She leaves out about how she's attending law school because that might imply divided priorities. She goes on about how she won't stop working until he literally tells her to stop, and then mentions the contract that she's supposed to help him with. He then says that there's a file about him and he wants her to familiarize herself with it. The book calls it the CYA file, which stands for Cover Your Ass, but the joke in the office is that it's called COYA, which means Canon owns your ass. He then gives her his phone number before he starts to order her around about this upcoming trip. Shoes, pooled with the blood of my innocent toes. Exactly how horrible do those shoes have to be to literally make you bleed just walking around an office? Are they filled with razor blades? She's also angry that she spotted Bert slipping Rebecca a bet about how long that she'd last as the PA. At this point, I'd file an HR complaint against both of them because that seems to be crossing a line. Madeline heads home for the day but stops to say goodbye to Emma. Emma then has to call Alaric so that he'll have her number. He never really said when to call, and she'd just been kind of putting it off, but he's angry that it took her so long even though he never gave her a time frame for it. And then that's the end of chapter 9. Finally, some actual plot, and it only took 9 chapters and like 50 pages just to get to this point.